Hello and welcome back to Demystified Daily. Emmanuel Macron became the first French president in 2 decades to win a second term, defeating Marine Le Pen's far-right campaign, which threatened to upend Europe. Macron's triumph gives France continuity and the 27-nation European Union another 5 years of political stability after years of difficulties from far-right populists, Brexit, an immigration crisis, and now Russia's conflict in Ukraine. French President Emmanuel Macron received 58% of the vote, while far-right contender Marine Le Pen received 41%. But have you ever wondered what were the reasons that caused Macron's success over Le Pen? Hello and welcome to the channel. I am your host, and in today's video I will explain 5 reasons why Macron succeeded in the French election. The Ukraine war helps Macron immensely. In a protracted face-to-face encounter in the Kremlin and multiple phone contacts, Macron made valiant but ultimately fruitless attempts to persuade Putin to end the war. Some have labeled him foolish, but his defenders credit him with the last-ditch diplomatic efforts to keep Europe from going to war. Despite the fact that international affairs are rarely a deciding factor in French politics, Mujab Rahman, managing director for Europe at the consultancy Eurasia Group, acknowledged that Macron's global visibility had improved his popularity. For Macron, it's definitely a home run, he remarked. 3 of Macron's key challengers, Mélenchon, Le Pen, and Zemmour, have a history of openly adoring Putin and have accused the West of hyping the prospect of an invasion, which is an added advantage in a country where Ukraine has overwhelming backing. Mélenchon's La France Insoumise helps Macron somehow. Macron was elected with the help of the left. Mélenchon's La France Insoumise, which came in 3rd place with 22% of the vote in the first round, pushed Macron over the 50% mark in the second round. Despite making no compromises to the left throughout his brief campaign, Macron earned the majority of votes from left-wing parties. Because of Le Pen's xenophobic and anti-Muslim views, the left voted against Macron. Le Pen's anti-American stance helped Macron. Critics feared that Le Pen, a nationalist who is close to Hungary's autocratic Prime Minister Viktor Orban, and anti-immigrant far-right groups across Europe, would pose a threat to democracy. Le Pen met with Russian President Vladimir Putin ahead of the 2017 French presidential election, which she narrowly lost to Macron. Although the US considers France to be its longest ally, a Le Pen presidency might cause problems for the Biden administration by eroding transatlantic cooperation over sanctions against Russia and encouraging autocratic populists elsewhere in Europe. During her campaign, Le Pen promised to weaken France's relations with the EU, NATO, and Germany, steps that would have shaken Europe's security architecture at the time when the continent is dealing with its greatest conflict since World War II. During the campaign, Le Pen was questioned about her former friendship with the Kremlin since she spoke out against sanctions on Russian energy supply. Le Pen's anti-Muslim remarks. Marine Le Pen, the leader of the French National Front, appeared in court in Lyon to face charges of inciting racial hate after comparing Muslims praying in the street to the Nazi occupation. She made the remarks during a rally in the street in 2010 when she was running for the party's leadership. According to Bernard Reynaud, the National Front FN leader had simply spoken about a particular number of people and was using her right to free expression. The case was originally dismissed by the Lyon Court of Appeal last year, but was revived by anti-racism organizations who filed a civil complaint. In France, Ms. Le Pen's anti-immigration and anti-EU message is gaining traction. There are around 5 million Muslim residents in France, and with Le Pen's racial remarks, that population voted against her in the election. EU-backed candidate. At least for a while longer, Macron's victory as the most pro-European Union EU candidate on the ballot will assure the EU's survival. Le Pen fought for a Frexit, thinking that leaving the EU and returning to the franc was in France's best interests, a move that would have sunk the French and European economies. With Macron as the new president of France, he will be a crucial voice in defending the EU against populists who want to deconstruct it. Macron's victory has filled EU leaders with optimism. I am glad that the French have chosen a European future, European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker tweeted. President of the European Council, Donald Tusk, congratulated Macron and the French on choosing liberty, equality, and fraternity against the tyranny of fake news. The elections are not over. In April 2016, Macron launched his own political party, En Marche. Let's Move. In April 2016, Macron launched his own political party, En Marche. Let's Move, and resigned from President Hollande's socialist cabinet soon after. En Marche presently has no deputies in the Assemblée Nationale because it is a new party. Fortunately for Macron, France's legislative elections are this June 11th and 18th and are 2 rounds of voting just like the presidential election. And 577 seats are up for grabs. Macron needs En Marche to win a majority in order to properly rule and fulfill his campaign pledges. Macron announced in January that his party would run candidates in all 577 parliamentary seats. So far, just 14 candidates have been named. En Marche will have to put in a lot of effort and organization to get representatives in contests and elected, but it's not impossible. We'll see what happens. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. Just click on the subscribe button below this video. Now I want to turn it over to you. If you have any video suggestions, then let me know by leaving a comment below right now.